What's up, everybody? It's your boy PG33 back with you, Baja. The first show we did, I seemed to get a lot of good comments back from. I felt it would be a little rough for most of my viewers, but seemed not to be. Got a few good comments, few thumbs up, so it let me know some people are starting to wake up and starting to hear. So we're gonna continue this journey of natural thinkings. I guess we're gonna have to come up with an actual segment for this since it's growing like it is. But like I say, it's your boy PG33 with Yabaja. We're back again. Yabaja, you want to say anything to the people?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. First of all, I give all praises to the Most High God, man. Give him all the praises on him. Um, you know, just glad to be on here. Edifying the people. Any avenue or any resources that we could use to wake the people up and edify people, man. We need to be using it. Like I always encourage people. This also is encouraging people to also understand that even though you're on different paths and as your brothers and sisters, man, you can come together on topics that we can deal with topics together. And that's what it's all about, man. It's all about waking up, opening that third eye, man, getting an understanding, and coming together and trying to find out solutions for our people, man. That's what it's all about.
Right,
so,
right.
Most definitely. So, with that, we can get this topic to get this thing rolling, man.
All right. Tonight, I guess what we're gonna talk about for the people is pretty much why is it so hard for people to venture out for as gaining knowledge or doing any type of studying outside of what they have been taught to believe versus actually studying and picking up knowledge, picking up information. And it seems like to me that anything that may conflict with whatever your religion may be, it seems to hinder us as a people from actually going to do any type of studying or learning. I don't know about you, fam, but when I started learning it, a lot of little things. Some of the stuff I learned about inside the church uh, blew me away, like the usher, the white wearing of the white gloves. I don't know. Yeah,
They used to make them wear white gloves just to see it, just in case because they thought they might be stealing or some things like that.
Stealing.
It's just small stuff in the church. But then, me also being a part of the being a part of the Israelite camps, which I still believe that I'm an Israelite, but I don't deal with the camps because they are cultish. Anybody that's sticking to one doctrine, man, is going to be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're sticking to one doctrine, you're going to be lost because there's so much knowledge out there, man. We're in the age of Google.
Yes.
It's 2020.
Yeah.
Like I said, people can Google the baby music and Beyonce and all her concerts and videos, man. Google knowledge of self, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can Google knowledge of self, man. We got the age of technology. We walk around with it in our hand every day.
Yeah.
And still refuse to seek knowledge, man. And that's one of the biggest weaknesses of our people, man. We refuse to seek knowledge.
And I know for those who need a little guidance or help, if you've never heard of Tariq Nasheed is a good person to follow and get some info from. Like the part of the usher, it was like the gloves. That was just a small part of what the gloves were for. The gloves were also, they didn't want to be touched by the blacks because the blacks started out as servants in the church, truly just like they were servants in everything else. So the members didn't want to be touched by the slaves, so they had to wear gloves. So when they deal with the people, they wouldn't be touched by them. Then also, by the gloves being white, it made it easier to tell if they were trying to manipulate or hide anything within their hands. And then they were also taught to stand with one arm behind your back because that also made it harder for you to do anything as far as stealing goes. And these are just little things that I find just within what I was believing because I started this traveling. The
And the
raising,
crazy thing about it is that we still do that in the church today, even though the white man is not in the church.
yeah.
We still keep those traditions. We still do those things. Yeah.
You remember that when you
Yeah,
gotta go use the bathroom.
yeah.
The history of that, I had to fall into that also when the slaves were allowed to read, which you already know, fam. The first thing they let them read was the Bible, but selected parts of the Bible.
Yeah.
So after that started going, they began to let the slaves preach to the other slaves. Now,
Yeah.
they had two white men in the service. One that sat in the pulpit with who was doing the preaching at the time, whatever slave was preaching. Nat Turner, his story is in there. But whoever was preaching, there was a slave master that followed him and stayed in the pulpit with him to make sure he never read or went outside what he was told to do.
You're talking about the 501c3 before it was called the 501c3.
And now at the back of the church, there was one, and his job was to sit with the pad like this. And whenever a slave needed to use the bathroom, he or she had to raise their hands for the slave master to recognize this one needs to use the bathroom. He would make a mark to remind him that wherever that person was, that slave needed to use the bathroom. So when he left or she went to use the restroom, whenever service was done, they could not turn out church until that slave master had every slave accounted for back on his paper. Once everyone was in their seat that was started that service, was back in, all slaves, then it was allowed to turn out church.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But all we've been, and we still today raise that finger because we taught it was out of respect. Yeah.
I remember the last time I was in church, I know I did it about 3 or 4 times.
Because we didn't know. We didn't know.
Yeah, man. We call it, it's called Stockholm Syndrome, man. People calling it Stockholm Syndrome. And we act like they're afraid to do this research. Because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's more that, that it's been beaten to our people so much that we glorify the white man to a whole other level.
Yeah.
Like, we look at white people on another level than we even look at our own selves sometimes, and that's the sad part about it because it was beaten to our people and it was passed down from generation to generation, and we the generation that's breaking that.
Yeah.
We're breaking that cycle, and it's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying, because of the simple fact, man, that it's been going on for so long. You got to imagine that, you know what I'm saying, you got what, 30, 40 years of knowledge that we've been doing, where people been awakened and waking up to the true knowledge and true knowledge of self over like 380 some years, almost 400 years of brainwashing. I mean, it's just like,
yeah.
The patience that you have to have with your people is just like it's crazy because a lot of people just don't want to let go of those traditions, man. They don't see it because they don't research it, and then sometimes when you show it to them, it still don't register in their mind that what they doing was what we was made to be done, what we was made to do back in those days. That they still doing it.
Free will now.
Still got shackles around our mind. We still don't know that.
And they used to have to murder our people. Why don't they even think of that? They had to murder our people in front of us, men, women, and children, rape our men and women to force us to accept their doctrine and completely forget about ours. And any elder that was brave enough to say, "No, I'm gonna kill Killmonger," they killed.
Oh yeah.
They already. Well, this brother ain't gonna get right. It's it, and just like that, until enough of the weak ones saw, I don't want that same fate, and they begin to break us down. Took our language, took our beliefs, but this is what gets me with our people, fam. Whenever somebody do, like you say, you start to learn outside of what you was traditionally taught, and you begin to learn more about what's happening all over the world. And when you come back to try to tell somebody, you know, I no longer believe this way. I'm
Yeah, you
starting to learn to
crazy.
believe. And when you, yeah, they say you crazy, and then it's almost like to me, it's almost like if somebody that was gay. Now I'm not gay, I'm not lesbian, and I'm not gonna shoot the fire at y'all tonight. But my thing is, I can almost relate to them by coming out trying to tell people I no longer follow this or I no longer follow that, and they look upon me like, you know, I'm this weirdo, like I'm coming out of the closet. You know what I'm saying?
Like you the enemy.
Right.
Well, you know what I'm saying? When they feel like, man, you gotta imagine, man, just imagine this, family.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from nothing, I mean, being beaten and where you were beaten and raped and killed and babies fed to alligators, all this different type of atrocities and crazy things going on with our nation since we came over here on slave ships to now, to where we're at a time where a Negro can get an education, a so-called education, where a Negro can actually work a decent job in peace or be at home in peace. We really not in peace because, you know, the black man, I mean, every time I walk outside my house, you know what I'm saying, I pray before I go outside my house because it might be my last time walking out of my house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, it seems like it's a lot easier, you know, because we're not going through that physical abuse that our forefathers was going and our ancestors was going through. We're not going through that physical abuse. So our people got the mental thought that it is better.
Mm-hmm.
When in actuality it ain't. It's still the same, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a mental slave. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We just mentally slave. That's why so much I teach against the Jesus Christ thing so much, because of the simple fact it put our people in a docile state of mind, man, to where we sit here waiting on somebody to come back and save us, when we have to start doing things to save ourselves, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as long as you sitting around waiting, the white man, he loving that nigga. A bunch of Negroes is sitting around waiting on somebody to save. You know what I'm saying? As long as you sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, the more I can destroy you and the more I can get done with my plan than what I'm trying to do, as long as I got you sitting back in a docile state of mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's sad, but it's understandable. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand why my people like this. But then, like I tell, we got to start doing some research. Like, it's sad that this brother come back to the church. Like my cousin, he come back to a church where he done preached at, and that everybody loved him in the church, and he go out and seek some knowledge and come back with that same love that he left with for his people. He got that same love in his heart that he had when he left.
Yeah.
And he coming back to spread that love like my people, we've been lied to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I come back, I done found this out, I done found this out. You know, this ain't right, something ain't right. We need to, you know, and that people just shoot you off like something is wrong with you or that you crazy. Like, people don't understand, like, how that shit, how it really feel, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, they not seeking no knowledge. I mean, it make you, you know,
it hurts.
crazy because you seek knowledge, and that's not the case, you know. But
you know, one of my favorite movies is The Matrix, and there's a part where Neo is waking up for the first time outside of the Matrix, and he opened his eyes and he say, "My eyes hurt." Why? And Morpheus tells him, he says, "Because you never used them before." Now,
yeah,
when I start thinking about that now, I'll be like, "Woo!" Now that I'm using that third eye and dusting it off, it hurts to see my people follow blindly and wholeheartedly things that's not even benefiting them. I mean, we've been following, our people as a whole pretty much has been following these different doctrines, but yet we still in the same bondage. We're in the same holes. We're in the same neighborhoods, still crying the same cries. And the problem, to me, is whenever we, like you said, when we learn something, we come back to our people and we try to share it. Egos get in the way. First thing they want to act like they know more than you, either because they're older or they just feel superior than you. You know, and one thing I've learned is to be humble. There's no such thing as how old a person should be that you can learn something from. Mine too.
The the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, it says, I used to pull that scripture out on the streets a lot, you know what I'm saying, thinking that it was speaking on people that really didn't have no knowledge, you know what I'm saying? But that scripture also speaks on brothers and sisters that have knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you don't hit your spiritual feeling, something is wrong. Something is wrong because you should never hit your spiritual ceiling where you wake up and you're not seeking wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So it's just to the point where Hosea 4:6 say, my people are lost from a lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
My people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But and which is facts to me. My people are destroyed because they won't seek knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's hold on, John. Let me go answer this stuff.
Okay. Well, while he's gone, y'all, like I said, seem like one of the biggest problems is with us as a people is you feel that what you've been taught is superior, and mainly it's because who taught you. Like for me, it was my grandma at the beginning. Then it ended up being uncles and bled on into the church. On into the church where everybody learned church. Huh?
Yeah, he said we lost from a knowledge, man, but I mean, it's also talking to people with knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can have knowledge and reject knowledge, and when you reject knowledge, that's the worst thing that you can do because there's so much knowledge that you can get, man, from different people. So, I try not to reject knowledge. I try to stay open-minded to all my brothers and sisters that come and talk to me about different things. Like I was telling you on the last class, I talk to homeless people and everything, man. You never know what you're going to learn from anybody, so. And when you stay closed-minded to one subject, that's the worst thing that you can do to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's facts.
Yeah. I remember the first time I started doing some reading and I found out how much similarities that Christ and Horace had. It just blew my mind. So I was like, wait a minute. Now, Horace predates this X amount of years. Some say 3,000 BC. Some say 5,000 BC. Even some say as far as 10,000 BC. And you're like, whoa. Now, if this predates this, but yet y'all got a lot of the same, I won't say line for line, but Michael Jordan and Kobe was Jordan Light. You get what I'm saying, fam? So Kobe being Jordan Light he patterned his game off of this baller. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same way. Like I said, when I started to research and saw Horace had 12 followers in the constellation. Horace walked on water. Horace turned water to wine. Horace had an immaculate conception. All these different things, and I'm like, now wait a minute. This predates this Bible thousands of years. Why is it having the same thing in it? So then I started looking up, and I found out that it was over, I think it's 15 to 20 different ones, all with the same stats.
But then you got to understand the white man is the biggest thief and the biggest manipulator on earth.
No doubt. I see you in there, fam. I tell fam I saw him.
I don't give a damn what you got, but the white man see you doing so, he see you with a culture that he ain't never seen before. He gonna kill you, and that's what he gonna become.
And you know what's wild? Is all they gotta use this fake news. Have you ever noticed that fake news only pertain to the 1%ers and the high power? When it's everybody else, the news is 100%. They just let Trump off the hook tonight, saying, that was pretty much, we just ain't gonna worry about it. This is a bunch of bull, bunch of fake news, bunch of lies. But as soon as it's one of us, ain't nothing fake about it. Nowhere in there.
Tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth about us. And then, like I said, they're going to tell the truth about us, but they're going to feed us fake news. That's what I tell my grandma all the time. Yeah, they're going to show you stuff to put fear on you. They're going to have you thinking that your people are monsters.
Yeah.
When you watch the news, you're going to see so many Negroes on there that kill this Negro, kill this Negro, kill this Negro, but you're going to be afraid to go in the streets because you're going to think that your people are straight monsters.
Yeah.
When the true terrorists and the true monsters are the same people that the same color of the same people that's giving you that fake news.
That's giving you the fake news. Now I got a question for you. I got a question for you. Why does religious people take it upon themselves so much to attack? And listen to what I'm saying. Attack the non-religious.
Well, you know what I'm saying? That's just like, my brother sitting right here, bro. Like, they teach. Like, they go out there, they get attacked. I was out there, we all get attacked, bro. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you get attacked, first of all, you're going to get attacked by people that don't have no knowledge because they don't know how to rebuttal what you just told them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to come back with what you just told them, especially when you show them and told them in plain eyes. They don't know how to come back. Mm-hmm. And then our people so opinionated with things. You know what I'm saying? When you show them actual, like when we in the Bible and we show them actual scripture,
right?
They so opinionated with things that, you know what I'm saying, and when we get so hurt and so hurt in our feelings about stuff. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing to be emotional about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, let's sit down, let's dialogue about it.
Right.
And then if we still don't come to no agreement as brothers and sisters, we can come together again and try to talk about it again.
Right.
But we push ourselves away from it because we get hurt. Because the next person don't want to believe the doctrine that you believe, or you don't want to believe the doctrine that I believe. Oh man, it's not all about that, bro.
No.
The whole thing is that we are up under crafty counsel. All these nations use crafty counsel to get us, and what we gonna do about it to get this to stop?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing about it. And that's what it is, bro. Christians are opinionated because though it's one person and you was preaching in them churches.
Yeah.
So you know when you was up in that pulpit preaching in them churches, you was the only person with the Bible on.
90% of the time, 90%. And
if you talk to a Christian, they're gonna tell you pastor said.
But you know what? And what gets me when you talk to them, they all judgmental. I was one because it's what it taught you to do. But Luke 6:37, Luke 6:37 is my favorite, and nobody really uses that. Judge not, yet ye be judged. Forgive and condemn.
Who the biggest judges and hypocrites in the world?
The religious people. Because that's what you're taught to do. You're given all the rules to go out and aim at people instead of all the teachings to go out and teach the people. We taught to go out and say, you gonna go to hell if you don't do this. You gonna burn forever if you don't do this. How do you know? Who came back and told you? That's where this digging gotta come. That's where we gotta say, okay, wait a minute. Before our people was made to learn this bullshit, what was our people doing? What were they learning? What were they teaching? Before they had paper and books, before they even started beating shit in the goddamn stone, what was our people believing? How did they follow? Go ahead, fam.
But for some reason, that heritage was taken away from us. That knowledge of ourselves was taken away from us for a reason. And now that we're gaining it back, man, it's hard to get our people to understand it. You know what I'm saying? You know, man, we looked at, like, you're going to be, bro, as far as, you know, and my walk and the walk we walk, you're going to be looked at as an enemy until more of our people wake up. Because you're going against everything that they believe in. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they think they fresh in their killer suits. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I mean, you put on a suit, killers can wear suits too.
Oh yeah, the Klan had a matching suit when they walked with their cross.
Exactly. So they think they something because they walk around in their killer suits. You know what I'm saying? But then, I mean, you know, knowledge is just like lifting weights, bro. When you lifting weights for sports or football, you lift every day.
Every day.
Just on one day.
Right. Man, I was trying to pull up the 42 laws of Mott for you right quick. Well, it's the 42 sayings of Mott. It's the negatives, like, I have not stolen, I have not killed, I have not lied. It's 42 of them, fam.
I really don't read that.
And I was,
you put me on that early.
And I was trying to get, yeah, I was trying to get to this one part in here around it I wanted to read, but I'll be ready the next time, y'all. Honestly, we decided, we had another show for tonight, but our third member didn't get to make it tonight. Brother Ira Brown, he'll be a part of this clip from here on. But So we decided to just come and just give y'all some everyday conversation. And this is
But
go ahead.
I'm gonna say this, John, and then I'm gonna get up out of here, and I'm so I can get my notes and stuff ready for tomorrow, man. But what I advise my people, man, this is a good brother, this is my family. You know what I'm saying? I always looked up to this brother. Every time I turned to this brother, he always gave me some good information, man. You know what I'm saying? And now we both seeking truth. All praise to the Most High, my brother. You know what I'm saying? He a truth seeker.
Yeah. I tell him I saw him peeping in there.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, when I tell people, man, it's this. Bro, don't be afraid to jump out. You know what I'm saying? God said you got to have thick as a mustard seed, and that's the smallest seed on earth.
The smallest.
You know what I'm saying? But then some people don't even have that faith, man. They only want to take that first push forward and jump out there on faith.
Yeah.
First of all, man, you got to jump out there on faith, man. 2 Timothy 2:15 say, study to show yourself approved to God, man. So therefore,
and get off the milk. And get off the milk.
Nobody get you to the kingdom of God. Can't nobody get you to the kingdom of God but you.
And they got to get off the milk.
They can guide you in the right direction, but I advise all people on this channel, man, study, man. Study. And figure out who you are according to the scripture, man, because if you're depending on somebody to get you to the kingdom of God, is that if you don't get there and you make all these mistakes and you get to God and you say, well, I was listening to Pastor and Pastor told me to do this.
Yeah.
Pastor told me to do this. Pastor, you think God gonna be trying to hear that?
Nah.
Come on, man. You're not gonna be trying to hear that. It ain't no excuses on judgment day.
Well, hey.
No excuses. You're gonna have to own for everything that you did on your own.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
before you get out of here,
go out there and
before you get out of here, let fam shoot a shout out up there. What's up? What's up? Hey y'all, this is my other fam right here. He be out there in them streets teaching. Give him your name, fam. Give him your name, fam. Hey, give them your name, fam, so if they want to look you up.
Battle Axes of the Most High, Dallas, Texas. I'm Yari. I'm selling on Facebook. I'm Yari Yamari. YAHRI Yamari. YALMARI. Battle Axes of the Most High, man. Kinfolk, appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, keep putting that truth, man. Keep doing what you're looking for.
I got you, fam. I got you. It's just beautiful to see us all trying to do something.
Check that out, man. It's so many avenues. It's not gonna be no excuses.
Yeah.
That you didn't know.
Yeah.
It's so many avenues that you can go to get this truth. It's not gonna be no excuses.
That's what's up.
And I'm praying to this brother with this channel. I hope everybody's subscribing to this channel.
Yeah.
Getting this knowledge, man. This brother got a lot of knowledge, and I'm pretty sure he know a lot of people with knowledge, man. So all praise to the Most High for this avenue for me, or this platform for me to get my truth out there as well. So,
word.
With that, that's all I got to say, my boy.
All right, y'all, and like he said, y'all subscribe, follow, keep giving us this inspiration to keep dropping, man. As long as y'all want to hear it, we'll spill it. That's how I look at it. As long as they're here and there, if it ain't but 3, we got you. So, with that being said, y'all stay strong, keep that family tight. One love, peace.